Hey everyone, I've had a little bit of a hectic week here. Basically, my house sitting gig, which was supposed to end last Friday, didn't end until last Saturday. There was a flight delay and everyone got stranded today, basically. And because of that, I had to basically push all of my plans a day back. I had to push my laundry day back. I wasn't able to quite start taking notes on for the next random trade review on Rye. But I've gotten that done now, and obviously I just saw, if you know the title of the video, this is the Dawn of Justice review. I just saw that. Got out of the theater about, I'd say, 20 or so minutes ago. I had to stop off and go to the bathroom. Anyway, basically, that's why I have not yet seen the start of Daredevil Season 2. If I do that, it'll probably come out on Tuesday. I'll probably watch it on Monday, get everything shot and recorded, and then put it out on Tuesday. Yeah. Anyway. Batman Superman, Dawn of Justice, or Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. Overall, you know, if you didn't like Man of Steel, you're probably not going to like this movie. I'm going to say that right now. I think it was a slightly better movie, just a little bit in terms of like character development and the way the story was told. That being said, there were a few drawbacks to it. First and foremost, for a movie called Batman v Superman, there's a surprisingly little amount of Batman v Superman. There's a lot of Batman, Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne, and Alfred, Jeremy Irons talking to each other, saying, you know, wondering, like, you know, whose side is Superman really on? And there's a lot of Clark Kent angling to cover the Gotham Batman. And apparently, Gotham City and Metropolis are like right next to each other. They're right next to each other, except there's a body of water, a bay between them, and that's it. Also, apparently, Metropolis is now in Illinois, so I guess that puts Gotham City in Wisconsin? Anyway, like I said, first, some of the good things. Ben Affleck as Batman, he was really good, really solid. They actually explain why he has the altered voice. It's part of his suit now. They have a voice modulator chip in there, so it's not him trying to do a bad Christian Bale impersonation. The other thing, you don't see him being Batman as much as there's a lot of, again, Bruce Wayne sort of acting as the cover, going in, spying, and those parts are really nice. Superman, he's okay. You don't see a lot of Superman in this. A lot of the Supermaning stuff happens in montages or dream sequences, and again, that's kind of it there. Lois Lane, Amy Adams as Lois Lane, again, I think a little underutilized in this, and not as overutilized as she was in Man of Steel. Like, there's not just Lois Lane going anywhere she wants, going everywhere, digging for information stuff. It's dialed back dramatically. They're definitely setting up for the Justice League movie, with Wonder Woman appearing. Gal Gadot, I would say put to bed any qualms you have about her being Wonder Woman. She's a perfectly fine Wonder Woman from what I saw. There's a lot of uniqueness on there. As Lex Luthor has a big document on metahumans, and he has a picture of Diana from World War I in 1918 in Brussels, of all places. Let me think. Anything else here? Anything? Lex Luthor, also in that file, there's a video file on Flash, there's a video file on Cyborg, there's a video file on Aquaman, no video file on Green Lantern, though, so, anyway, Lex Luthor, Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor, it depends on what you want in your Lex Luthor. I think he's kind of a good balance between the evil industrialist, capitalist, from the John Byrne revamp post-crisis, or Smallville even, and the crazy mad scientist from the pre-crisis Superman. Exactly, except his voice is a little too wormy. Exactly, like I like my Lex to be a little more strong and sophisticated. He's a little, I'm great. Batman, Man of Steel versus Bat of Gotham. Yeah. Psychotic, a three-syllable word for feeble little mind. That he's a little mincing in it. Other than that, though, I actually liked a lot of his planning stages and everything. I actually like what he does to create Doomsday. And, you know, for those of you flipping out about Doomsday being in this, like, okay, Doomsday's not a great villain. Okay? Throw him in here. Hopefully we don't have to do him for another movie. Yeah. We save that for, you know, maybe a return of Zod or something. I don't know. Or Darkseid, which I'm guessing is going to be the villain of the Justice League movie. But, yeah. Like I said, surprisingly little Batman v Superman in Batman v Superman. They have obviously the scene at the party from the trailer you've seen, and then there's the scene at where Batman is chasing someone in the Batmobile, and he kind of crashes into Superman, and then there's this kind of threatening back and forth between them, and then there's the big battle, and that's kind of it. Other than that, the rest of the time, it's basically all the other people are just in their own little plotting worlds, basically. Anyway, I did like a lot of Lex Luthor's actions. It wasn't quite there with his performance, but he got a lot of the ideas of Lex Luthor right. Excuse me. Okay, as you can see, the cat has decided to kind of join us here. She needed to be fed when it came back, so she's happy now. Anyway, where was I? Lex Luthor, a lot of his actions and motivations into it, those are actually presented pretty well. They have him discovering kryptonite in a lot of the wreckage of the ships, the two, what were they called? World engines from Man of Steel. And he took the kryptonite and he was able to skim General Zod's fingerprints off of his corpse. And they put it, and they used that to enter the computer matrix, and that was kind of cool. And you had Holly Hunter as the senator who's trying to get Superman to explain his actions. You know, you don't have the authority of the U.S. government, or you act on the authority of the U.S. government, or you don't have the right to be unilateral in your judgment and everything. And then there's this one character, Wallace Heath, I think is his name. Wallace Heath, and he's this guy who, during the Superman Zod fight from Man of Steel, he worked at Wayne Enterprises as a security guard, and the Wayne Enterprises building was destroyed. You see that in the trailer and everything. And his legs were basically crushed under a big steel beam, and they had to be amputated, and he's in a wheelchair now. And he's basically big anti-Superman because, you know, well, obviously. And he manages to get his story told to the senator because Lex Luthor basically pays him to basically manipulate the senator. But what he does is he actually puts a bomb in Wallace's wheelchair. And that big Superman congressional hearing thing, and then there's this big explosion. And I don't know if he's trying. I didn't quite get that he was trying to set Superman up to make it look like he attacked anyone, but everything. But given that afterwards they basically said they knew that the bomb was in the Wallace's wheelchair. Make of that what you will. Also, I'm not entirely sure how Clark Kent was entirely able to discern that Bruce Wayne was Batman. I mean, during that party sequence earlier, like, Bruce and Alfred are in this, like, remote radio conversation, and Clark is actually able to pick up on the radio signals, which was, that was kind of cool, but, again, it's like, maybe he pieced it together from that and a couple other things, but there was never, like, this, oh, Bruce Wayne is really Batman. Nope, it's not until the big confrontation for the fight that they go, you know, cat jumped off. That he says, he goes to him, he says, Bruce, you don't understand, because another thing that happens, I'll get to it. Lex Luthor kidnaps Martha Kent, and he basically uses that to blackmail Superman into going after Batman because he wants to control Superman, basically, yeah. He wants to control the god, because Lex Luthor. And, you know, Superman goes to Batman, he says, no, you let me explain. I don't want to fight you, but Batman's all no. And they start fighting. They start fighting. Batman's mask gets destroyed. He's got all because he stole. Batman actually winds up stealing kryptonite from Lex Luthor, and basically it makes an array of kryptonite weapons. Anyway, yeah. Sorry, I'm getting a little all over the damn plot here. Another thing is, like I said, there's a lot of montaging in this film. Like, again, you don't see much in the way of Batman versus Superman. You see Batman's doing a couple of things here, Superman does a couple things here, and then that whole big desert sequence with the soldiers who bow down to Superman, that's all a dream. And that did kind of demean the movie down, drop the movie down a little bit in my book. The characterization throughout was pretty strong. I actually believed a lot of the motivations. I actually believe that, you know, Superman is trying to be good to the world, yeah, and save the world most of the time. He's not. He hasn't completely responded so well to the whole negative reactions of what happened in Man of Steel, which probably should have been addressed a little bit better. But you get the idea that he's trying to make the world a better place. You get the idea that Batman is beyond thinking the world is a better place. You don't entirely know Wonder Woman's motivations. And that's a bit of a drawback, too. Anyway, eventually they get together. They kidnap. Like I said, eventually what happens is Lois Lane wants to cover the Batman-Superman fight while at the LexCorp headquarters there's all the shenanigans going on, and Perry White is like, no, I need you to go here. It's like, no, I need to go here. It's like, no, there's... Anyway. Sorry, I'm getting a little muddled here. Okay, just a sec. Okay, I should probably stop trying to summarize the whole movie. I'll get to more of the drawbacks with it. Like I said, now, I mean, that's kind of the big thing. I think the major drawback is, for a movie called Batman v Superman, there's not a lot of Batman v Superman. It seems to just be more building towards the Justice League movie. Like I said, I actually liked a lot of the characterization throughout. I liked a lot of the motivations of the characters throughout. It's just, I kind of wanted more of Batman v Superman. There's not a lot of Batman in the movie, actually. He's mainly Bruce Wayne and working in the Batcave throughout most of it. Let me think. Like I said, Wonder Woman, while she was very good in what you saw, there wasn't a lot. I mean, there's some motivation as to it because she finds out about the files that LexCorp has on her, and then she, by extension, she finds the others, and I'll get to that at just a second here. And then you have the big, anyway, Lois Lane, there's a, oh God, I'm all over the place again. I'm sorry. Okay, where the hell am I going with this? Okay. The Batman v Superman fight, the actual fight. They're fighting. Bruce has a vast array of kryptonite weapons because he stole a big chunk of kryptonite from Lex Luthor. Okay, let's roll with that. They're fighting. Batman actually has a kryptonite spear. He's actually holding it. And again, the motivations for the Batman-Superman fight is that Lex Luthor kidnaps Martha Kent. Now, if you realize Martha Kent and Martha Wayne, the respective mothers of Batman and Superman, obviously. And as he's about to plunge the spear into it, you know, Superman calls out, "No, I have to save Martha." He's like, "What? You have to save Martha?" Martha, and it causes Bruce Wayne to have this flashback to his mother. And he's like, "Why do you keep saying Martha?" And then that's when Lois Lane shows up and says, "Because that's his adopted mother's name." Like, how did she hear that? She was on the outside of the building, unless he was really calling out loud. How did she hear all that conversation? Anyway, and that's enough to get Batman kind of yield a little bit. And it's at that point that Superman goes back to Lex Luthor, starts trying to fight him, but Lex goes, "Ha, I've been working too." And basically how he created Doomsday was he took Zod's body Zod's cadaver. He had the Kryptonian computers analyze it, or a Kryptonian healing matrix, I think, analyze it, and it said, but then he cuts his hand, and he basically uses his hand to push it down and puts all the blood into it too, and he says, merge that DNA, and it merges that, and that's how Doomsday is created. And Doomsday comes out, and he's this big, like, energy reactor weapon, because any type of attack, he's basically absorbing it, and it's making him stronger and stronger, and the bony plates are growing out of his skin. And there's a point where Superman takes him, and he manages to lift him up, and he starts flying up into the up into outer space, basically. And they fire two nuclear warheads, and the U.S. government fires two nuclear warheads at them, and it hits, and it knocks Superman unconscious, and it knocks Doomsday back down, but he's even more powerful than ever. And it's about that time that Wonder Woman shows up. And it's that point that Batman realizes, oh wait, I have the kryptonite spear. And Lois Lane got basically left behind, a lot of it. And she had taken the spear and sort of thrown it into like this pool of water that was in a sewer. And she realized, oh wait, they're actually going to need that spear. And so they start running down to get the spear. She gets trapped, and it's at that point, because Superman's floating up in space, and he gets hit by the yellow sun, and he's able to heal, and he flies back down, he rescues Lois, and they start trying to pull the spear out, but the kryptonite is affecting him, like, oh, it's weakening him, and they don't know if he can actually do anything. And he looks, he said, I have to do what I have to do, and he takes the kryptonite spear, and he starts flying. And Batman actually has a kryptonite bullet too. Well, it's not a bullet. It's a kryptonite, basically, not a grenade launcher. I guess it's a grenade launcher. He has kryptonite grenades that explode. They put the kryptonite vapor in the face, and he fires one of those at Doomsday, and that weakens him enough. Superman flies in with the spear and plunges it into Doomsday. He plunges it, but then Doomsday comes back, and he grows one last bony spike, and he plunges it into Superman's heart. And they basically kind of mutually kill each other at that point. And then everyone finally starts to accept that Superman is a hero now. He sacrificed himself for all of humanity. They start, yeah. And Superman is dead, basically, at this point. Superman's dead until the end part. Yeah, he's not really dead. You know he's coming back. And it's at that point... during the funeral and everything, that's when they really start ramping up for Justice League, because Diana and Bruce kind of look on from a distance. They're sort of talking. It's like, you need to find the others. We need to unite. It's like, what makes you think they'll fight? Just a hunch. And you get sort of a mini flashback as Lex is taken to jail, because they realize he's responsible for everything, and they shave his head. It was not a toupee. They shave his head, and he's in the jail. And basically, Batman kind of breaks into the jail, and he starts threatening him. And basically, Lex says, you don't understand. The bell's already been rung. They are coming. You're not gonna you can't fight them all. They are coming. They are coming. Obviously setting up for the Justice League movie. And given that Lex throughout the whole movie has been talking about gods and devils and controlling gods and man trying to be God and Icarus flying too close to the sun, I think it's pretty obvious they're going to do Darkseid and the New Gods for the Justice League movie. Excuse me. So I guess... wrapping things up, in many ways, I think this was a stronger film than Man of Steel. I mean, in terms of characterization, in terms of storyline, in terms of character development even, I would say it's a better film than Man of Steel. In terms of action, I think Man of Steel actually had it better. I actually just watched Man of Steel about, let's say, a month and a half ago. The effects in that really still hold up. And... in that case, I would kind of say, if you're looking for more of a story, you're probably going to like this a bit more than Man of Steel. But still, if you did not like Man of Steel, I don't think you're really going to like this one that much. But in my opinion, I enjoyed it, even with its drawbacks. I'm going to give this a very, very low B, maybe a B minus, if that helps to you, a B minus. And now onto the trailers. I actually brought my steno pad in the theater this time. Theater was jam packed. There was no way I was going to get away with turning on a phone and ticking people off like that. So I did manage to get the trailers down though. And boy, starting things off, we had a doozy. We have Keanu, the Key and Peele movie. Oh, I saw the Red Band trailer for this one online about a month ago. Laughed really hard at that. Still laughed really hard at this. I have not laughed that hard at a trailer probably not since I want to say Meet the Parents was probably the last trailer I really laughed like that at. If you don't know the plot, one of them, I don't know. Admittedly, I don't know who Key and Peele are. I didn't watch their show that much, but basically, one of them has just broken up with his girlfriend. He's depressed, and suddenly this stray kitten shows up on his doorstep, and he's like, and he just takes it in. He starts petting it, and it's like the best cat in the world. And he shows it to his friend, and he's like, I named him Keanu. Oh, it's beautiful. It's the greatest cat I've ever seen. And they just love it. And then they go out for one night, and they come back, and his house has been broken into, and the cat has been kidnapped. And it turns out like this is the most desired cat in the world. Everyone wants this cat for some reason. And there's this one point, like there's this drug kingpin who has the cat, and the cat has a little do-rag on. Because it's this little, like, 4-month-old kitten. I mean, it's not a big cat. It's a kitten with a do-rag. I mean, oh my lord. Laughed. Everyone was just laughing so hard at that. After that, we have Huntsman Wears War again. Yeah. After that, we have X-Men Apocalypse. And, again, I've kind of already talked about that one, so there's not really much to elaborate on that. After that, we had Neighbors 2, or Bad Neighbors 2 if you live in another part of the world other than the U.S. I never saw the first Neighbors. It just looked like more of the same of that, except with a sorority instead of a fraternity. After that, we have Captain America Civil War. Obviously, I'm going to go see that. There's no reason to really elaborate too much there. I mean, it's the most recent trailer that they've shown where Spider-Man shows up at the tail end of it. Nothing big there. And last but not least, Suicide Squad, which makes sense given that I'm talking about Batman, Superman, Dawn of Justice. At least they're cross-promoting their movies a little bit better than, say, Marvel does. I still am kind of irked that I never got to see the Ant-Man trailer on the big screen last year, even though I went to see Avengers. I went to see Avengers, I said, well, they're going to have the Ant-Man trailer before that. And they didn't. Anyway, Suicide Squad, I think it actually looked pretty good. I mean, it's one of those, I hesitate to say this could be like Guardians of the Galaxy, because Guardians of the Galaxy was a really good movie. I don't think it's going to be in that league, but I think it could be that kind of vibe to it, where it's going to be that group of lesser-known heroes that kind of just catches, not even heroes, lesser-known characters that just kind of catches on with people, and I think it's going to, do real well. I actually think it looks pretty good. I know they changed a lot of the characters, but you're just going to have to bear with it, okay? It's a movie. They're going to change things. Okay, so, like I said, the next video after this will be the random trade review on Valiant Masters Rye Volume 1. I have the video on-camera stuff shot. I have the audio stuff recorded. I just need to merge them. After that, I'll try to do Daredevil. I'll try to get it out by Tuesday at the earliest. It might not be until Wednesday. Anyway, I'll see you all then.